out now for 3 to 4 inches. Use it every day.
What is that? Put stormwater.
Yeah, exactly.
Forward.
Oh,
yeah.
All that.
Because 60, used to be 60, 3 to 4 never warranted to be.
No, it's 10. I don't just want to.
If you work 12s, if you work on Monday this week, it's all we get already off. That's what happens. Yes, at least 10 is there. Because if you go from 8s to 10s, if you work as up here, you go from 8s to 12, she's 7, 4, 1, 7.
Oh, that's what you asked.
So when you're driving like that, it's a little difference.
Oh, yeah.
7 days that you're correct.
So you're, that was on last month.
So for him, it's 8-hour shift.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not manageable.
So,
It's probably well, it's correct.
I should start fresh.
I kind of like to watch the progression of the major line. I like how you do it. It's kind of like a Sistine Chapel. 7:00, call the meeting order. Brian, please lead us in the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Patton?
Here.
Ring?
Here.
Chapman?
Here.
Fox? Here. Tyler?
Here.
Shearhart?
Here.
Drake?
Here. Before you is the February 14th, 2024 agenda. Anybody like to make any changes, additions, or deletions?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
All in favor of approval of the agenda February 14th, 2024, say aye.
Aye.
Number 5, approval of the minutes from January 10th, 2024.
There is one typo.
24.
Approval of, it says bills.
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 Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe we were writing it in accent.
That well. I'll make a motion to approve them. I'll second.
All in favor of approval of the minutes of January 10th, 2024, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Public comment. Jenna, you got anything?
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it.
So, can I read it off my old paper here?
You sure
Just
can.
so I keep track here. I'm Jeanette Carlton. I've lived in Central Lake for 50+ years. I've owned a few businesses and I've worked at Central Lake Pharmacy. Yes, I was very sad to see the pharmacy close. A pharmacy is very important to Central Lake. When we get a prescription in another town, we tend to buy a coffee, maybe gas, maybe a pizza, and that takes away from us, Central Lake. A few other little things. We're a very unpretentious little town. We don't want to be like Bel Air, but we need businesses. I remember Michelle writing a little article about Central Lake, about her West Old State Street, and what a beautiful street it was. What neat homes. It was a good pride of Central Lake. I don't know whether we're missing the pride of Central Lake, but the businesses are very important. I hate to see stores closed. It takes away from her store. It takes away from the grocery store that was so willing to open back up for us. We need all these to keep the little ones going. I know we have one less little restaurant, and I heard that it will not be another restaurant. But we could have maybe some other things, maybe a kayak, it's a little store that was just, even if it was only open seasonal, things do not have to stay open 12 months out of the year. It could be anything, but we need to get more businesses going here. I hate to see, the corner, I know Chris Corby can't buy everything, and we don't want him to. But, I see Auto Owner or the Giraco's on the corner there. It's just a big blank, nothing. And it doesn't help. We need to get this place revitalized. It doesn't have to be Bel Air, but it does have to have businesses to keep everybody coming back here. Just can't close the place up. And I walk around and I see things that are on some of the side streets that should be cleaned up. I don't know, I know there's an ordinance, and I don't wanna even start there, but I'd like to see some businesses which will make more people come into the town, and that pride will maybe come back again. That's all I have, so, thank you.
Thank you.
Reports.
Just a second.
Oh, sorry, oh, that's right, yeah, you got yours.
Public comment.
Yep.
I'm making two public comments on behalf of residents that can't be here. The first one is Terry Moon. And he talked to me, he said that on M88 north of town where it curves and goes to the west, he said that it's a hazardous area because cars come around that corner kind of fast. And he said that we really shouldn't have a sidewalk there. And he said he'd be willing to cooperate property-wise to get a sidewalk installed. His second comment was that we need code enforcement in town because we're lacking on that. His third comment was that he was somehow lived in or was involved in a town down in the Metro Detroit area, I think it was. But he said that there the town, when they clear snow, they help the elderly clearing their driveways, people that wouldn't otherwise get them cleared. And he said that the village should do that. So that was his comments. Now, there's one other person that had comments. That was Jody Morton. It's Murton. And she also said that curve on M88 is kind of a hazardous place. She said the cars come around there kind of quick, and she said that 95% of the cars cross the white line on the inside of the curb. That's what she said. And she said she'd like to see a sidewalk there. And that's the end of the comments that I'm delivering on behalf of village residents.
Mike, I'm sorry, did you say Judy or Jody?
Jody, Jodi.
It's work. Yeah.
Yeah, Murton.
I got that one, thank
Okay.
you.
What, in order to put a sidewalk in on M88, do we have to get permission from the state?
M88, you got to get permission from the state.
Because that would be a new sidewalk, we don't have any down through there.
Well, we don't know the width of the right of way that the state has. Going down Main Street here,
Yeah.
it would appear that
Right.
out there we cover the same area. But that would affect his stonework. We won't do that.
Definitely his stone hedge would be affected.
But yes, you'd have to coordinate with the state if they'd even allow it.
They'd have to do studies and all that other stuff before they
Oh, yeah.
make that.
But both of them made a good point. It is somewhat of a safety problem. I know I noticed that when I drive my tractor around that corner. I've got slow-moving vehicle sign and four-way flashers, and still some of them come close to me. So,
I have a quick public comment. You may have seen the event calendar here. So, I don't know if this is gonna be covered anywhere else in the meeting, but I just wanted to mention that, Matt Gabris chaired a meeting, where we tried to put all of the town, village events in one spot. So we have an active calendar, it's, out, the main one is hanging out in the vestibule. But, this is to try to keep the village organized and so we don't plan events on top of each other. One thing that's on there that you may notice for the weekend of, Earth Day, which is 4/21, is an Earth Day cleanup. And we just threw that idea out there, because there are some spots in the village that would really benefit from a good cleaning. And so we thought about maybe doing just a grassroots thing with different service organizations to try to help people get their junk cleaned out. So if you've got any great ideas, we look forward to hearing that and figuring out how we can make the town look a little better without, well, I don't know, without spending a ton of money and without causing anybody to have any heart attacks or anything like that.
I want to contact the Lions Club.
Yes, and the Lions Club was represented at this meeting,
Oh, okay, good.
so, yeah. It was a really nice, productive meeting. That's all.
Any other public comment? We'll close public comment. Number 7, reports, police report, Scott.
Thank you. Hopefully everybody had a chance to report. I was kind of busy and didn't get it actually until today. There's been other issues that came up about that. So I was able to plan and put it together, so I apologize for the short notice. Usually have a week before, or at least a couple of days before, so. Looking it over, kind of, everything's probably spelled out. You got a second page that is a report that I give to the school. Kind of a event to start, so it kind of breaks it down to the job here versus the job there, so it kind of spelled it all out. But getting the new guys all caught up. We've got them with temporary uniforms, temporary vests for now. The new ones are coming, just, the vests are 10 weeks away, so we have to kind of find something for them to wear. We got them all qualified for firearms, so you'll see them starting to work their way back in and actually doing patrol stuff too, so. Last month I was here, yeah, I was here. The drug box is out in the lobby, ready to rock and roll. We got people already starting to use it. Somebody came in today and asked them how they heard about it, and they said it was on Facebook. So thanks you, Ellie, for putting that on Facebook. So the word's getting out that we have that resource. So we have one. Bel Air, the sheriff department has one, and then Elcraft is the only 3 that are in Old County. So it's kind of nice to have something where people. Some lady brought in today, she had 20 pill bottles. So it's 20 pill bottles that don't go in the trash, 20 pill bottles that don't go in the toilet, 20 pill bottles that don't get somebody else's hands that break into the house or something. So it's a great thing. So after the meeting, if anybody wants to get their picture next to it, we can send it off to the lady from the Tip of Mint there or whatever, and she'll do a nice publication. So I sent her a couple pictures of just the box, but I think she wanted some faces to go along with the picture, so they volunteers.
I think your face would be a good one.
2 new officers.
Oh, yeah, the 2 new officers.
But besides that, everything else is good. It's kind of nice to have someone to help you and try to get those guys.
Are the 2 officers eventually going to start enforcing some
Yes.
of the?
So, yeah, I've heard the comments here.
Some of the property cleanup that we
Yep.
need?
So I told them this week, they're just kind of getting oriented. I said, go around and see what you think is, blighted, and I'll add shit to what I think is blighted. And maybe I'll get Rob involved or maybe Bill, and we'll kind of, have kind of a group effort. I just, my biggest concern is that, while it's a very important issue, and I understand where everybody's concerns are, once we start sending notices out, people are going to lose their mind.
Mhm.
So, and I want to warn you guys that when that happens, I think we need to be, together on this so that we're all kind of on the same ship here. Because not as kind of, I think the last time or in the past, there's been kind of a divided front. And I think sometimes people get rid of that, and it kind of defeats the purpose. So, and I'm all for sending out notices, getting things cleaned up. And I know people in the village, it's a big concern for them. But it doesn't just happen overnight, and it also creates some other hard feelings, because sometimes people don't want to be told what to do, so.
Can we have a list, or Ally have a list of people that were sent the warning letters? Because the big,
We can, we haven't said about yet,
Okay.
obviously. but-
I'm just thinking, oh my God, 3 years ago we did this,
Yeah.
people were complaining, I got a ticket, I got it, and then it was like, I didn't have any access to say, no, you didn't read it, it's just.
And what I would actually ask is that when these guys are sending out the notices, if there's any feedback from any guys, anybody hears something right now, send them to me first, because then, obviously, if I'm not doing my job, then I think that's what you guys would come to.
Yeah.
Because I think people were opinion shopping and trying to go behind our back and try to, divide and conquer, which kind of didn't work out that well. So, if those guys are sending out the notice, I'm gonna make sure that they're doing the job, and if I'm not doing my job, you guys need to make sure that I'm doing my job. So I think it works well when there's some type of hierarchy, at least a chain of command, because if not, people are gonna, because like I said, the people that told you they got tickets, I wrote 3 tickets in 16 years. So the people that told you they got tickets did not get tickets. They got warning letters. There's a difference in that, so.
And there's always a lag, they'll get it, it's invariable, we'll send out one for grass. I swear to God, they'll cut it on Friday, they'll get the letter on Saturday and come unglued.
And that's.
Yeah.
See, I got it.
Yeah, see?
It's kind of hard because, and I can kind of more details when we get a chance, but it's hard to get, from left to right, cut the bottom as far as the village.
Yeah.
To get the message across and do it in a timely fashion, because the one thing you don't want to do, and I don't want to do, is to waste the 2 officers' time repeating things that are going on. People are like, why don't you come to my house? I can't send an officer to 60 people's houses and make house calls on things, and so much or just to send them a letter. And the letter's just more of a warning thing, And I think we'll get some Facebook, time in there and some weeks of notices and stuff like that, so people aren't surprised, but I don't know why they would be surprised, because it happened. Some of these people that were complaining, it's their 4th notice, because if you went back in the computer, you'd find out they were warned several.
Oh, yeah, the
So
same thing.
it was no big surprise at all to jump the cars and the grass
Yeah.
and stuff like that, so. But I would just ask that if there's any feedback, by all means, let me know. I'll keep those guys on board and keep those guys working diligently, so. But yeah, you're gonna hear a lot of complaining.
Oh, yeah.
That's just part of the job, so.
So you would not want us to respond to the people that complain?
I would just say, let them talk to me. Because then if it is a matter of issue where somebody's getting a letter and they already, hey, sorry, it's just a letter that passed in the mail, we'll take you off the list, or, we had this other lady that, her lawnmower got stolen, legitimately, her lawnmower got stolen, and her son was gonna come over to do it, and I just said, we'll put that on the back burner, we'll work on that, give you extra time and stuff like that. So we're pretty gracious, like I said, in 16 years, when you're only writing 3 tickets, and we are sending out 60 to 70 notices per year, you can do the math and find out, we're very willing to work
Generous.
Yes.
And I think that is a wise idea to refer all issues to Scott, rather than us reply and then talk to Scott and talk to Scott and then talk to the person. Our job is not his job. His job is his job, so we can.
And one of the things is, the unfortunate part about it is we haven't done anything in the last couple of years because we haven't had part-time help, so trying to catch back up to where we were a couple of years ago is gonna be hard. The one thing that we do, when we actually send out a notice, it gets a complaint number, so it gets logged in the computer. So these people that are complaining to various board members about they didn't know anything, and I'm like, no, wait a second, I have had access to the computer, I can say, this is your 5th notice, or, whatever. That's kind of extreme, but, we just remind people, and sometimes people are just new to town, and we catch them up to speed, and they said, we probably have a 90-some% clearance rate just on people getting things done without even issuing citations.
Usually it's just a little incentive is all most people need.
Well, sometimes you're right. And then the other fortunate part about it is if you're a renter, your notice is going to be sent to the homeowner, which may not know what's going on. So it's a good way of, the homeowner that can keep track of what's going on in their property. So.
And you'll keep us posted as to when notices are getting sent out, so you can be on alert.
And typically,
Turn my phone off on that weekend.
Typically, years past, we've only sent notices out twice a year. Once at the beginning of spring when grass, and then sometime a couple months later during the summertime with junk cars. So people are only getting notices 2 times a year.
Yeah.
At the most.
I just have a request to push the spring one back to June's. It's
Well,
supposed to be normal in May. for the-
Here's what you guys need to do then, because it's in the village ordinance that says starting May 1st, you have to start.
So we have to make an amendment.
Well, somehow, I mean, and that's what, the year that everybody kind of lost their marbles, not too much. We waited until June to send out the notices, so they went by because of COVID and stuff like that. So we actually gave people an extra month, and it still got backfired in our face, so.
Yeah, I went to you, I don't remember, because I hunted you down before work and yelled at you and stuff, so I feel bad about that.
Well, and that's, honestly, that's part of it. I mean, I don't mind talking to people, and I don't mind explaining what's going on, and I don't mind listening to a story and saying, listen, I broke my leg, or I had a mower, or something like that, because we're willing to work with people. So it's the people that are blatantly not willing to do anything.
Oh, that's.
And just be cautious that at the end of this, sending out letters, there's gonna be a handful of them that will just go all the way. So, I mean, that's a letter to Brian Graham, and there's an extra cost for that too, so. Again, just part of doing business. We'll do, I think, a great job as far as just keeping on and keeping things clean up, so.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
DPW report, John.
January, not a big project month. We did have winter for a couple weeks there. A lot of plowing. All I had just a lot of truck maintenance and shop maintenance. I guess the only thing I forgot to add that I just gotten out, but I did end up chaining off our swamp behind the AP, and I put up full RV only signs. Just let you the rest of you know.
So we can't go forward with that there.
Yep, there's people tearing it up and started plowing it themselves and made me mad, so.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lane for that side by sides and snowmobiles and motorcycles can get through. And I'm gonna it's been a highway back there and try to tone that down.
You took down Christmas lights. You take down the ones in the village offices, the white ones? Oh,
We like,
I like it. Keep me around. I just think
You can have them on your own.
Okay. We'll talk about it next year.
But onto that, I said someday in the future that I'm gonna build a trail through the woods for side by sides and ORVs. People using that as a road or highway.
Any questions for John?
Why not?
Can I get my John Deere through that path?
President's report. I don't have anything, but Jeanette, I will talk to you. A lot of the businesses or empty buildings are considered brownfield redevelopment. And people that want to buy a business here in town are very concerned about that.
because it's contaminated,
We know it has to be tested.
well, because,
Yeah, it's gotta be tested for contaminations, and there's a phase 1 and a phase 2, and then there has to be a deed restriction that if they someday in the future that they found a chemical that they didn't test for before, like fast fuzz, nobody even heard of that. And that's where we're at. We're working on businesses. I've been in several meetings with Eagle. We're moving, but the state government moves very slow. That's all I can tell you. The Dover property,
I asked you about that, and you said you were meeting with somebody.
yep, it's cleaned up.
Yeah, it looks a little different.
Yep, and they're gonna put it up for sale here as soon as they get monitoring wells in, and the real estate arm of Dover Corporation feels that it's ready to be sold.
Would it be homes or condos?
Whatever they sell it to, it's up to them. So, yep, and that's the biggest issue we're running into. I guess Central Lake was the gas station capital of
Oh,
northern
it
Michigan,
was.
and it's awful.
Yeah.
It's,
Who knew
I
that
don't know,
was in ground years ago?
yeah. I don't know how many gas stations this little town needed, but it was way too many. I didn't know the corner store was a gas station at one time too.
everything was a gas,
Yeah, I did not know that.
We did approve that tax abatement initiative.
So,
right,
yeah.
Businesses.
right.
Correspondence. Approval of the bills. Anybody have any questions on the bills? I'd like to make a motion to approval of the bills, a total of $46,651.46.
Second.
Roll call, please, for spending money.
Patton,
Yes.
Ring,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Shearhart,
Yes.
Drake.
Yes.
Whole business, 2024-25 budget. The Personnel and Finance meeting met on, January 24? Brian, when was that?
Yeah.
17.
January 25th.
25.
We were, well, we're all.
25th. We looked at the budget and we went through everything, and one of the biggest thing was the DDA, halfway down your tab there. Since we already gave for fireworks $7,000, we lowered their amount to $3,000. That was the one. Brian, what was the other one? Police?
Wasn't it the police vehicle?
Yeah,
And I moved the $10,000 in there, so that's done.
yes. We're gonna start putting money away for a police vehicle like we talked about a couple of years ago.
And that was already approved a year,
Yes.
2 years ago, but never got.
Never got done.
Implemented.
How much money did you move there?
10,000.
10,000.
It's officially moved if I print out the new report.
So if we go back to the top, the general, if you look at that, there was, Craig, the accountant, said there was nothing out of the ordinary that needed to be modified. Is that correct, Ally? Capital improvements. The only thing, since we're not moving into a new building, we're not gonna have any capital improvements this year. Major streets, that stands alone, that's Act 51 money. John, do we have any paving projects on any of the major streets in town? Pavers, no. Okay.
Rob, maybe you could fill people in on Eastern Immediate.
Pardon me?
Fill them in on the section of Eastern Immediate that we had talked about.
Oh, okay. So the township approached us, or the village, they are paving North Intermediate Lake Drive from 2,000 feet south of Old State Road, right at the village limits. So that's where they are going to pave. Stan Bean called me and said, would you like to participate in that? And the village can pave the last 2,000 feet for $65,000. There was then discussion. I spoke to Kip, and Kip didn't think it was a village road, correct?
Correct.
And then, he advised me to call Bert Thompson. I called Bert Thompson. He said, that is indeed not village road responsibility. That is the county/township. He suggested to me, since 800 of the 1,200 residents of the township are village residents, the township should actually pay that, since we all pay township taxes. So then I called Stan Bean back and I told him what Bert Thompson said to me, and that the township should really consider doing that. He doesn't think he has the votes 3 out of 5 to have it passed. So, and that's where that stands on that one. But we did look at a local street, and that was Howard, West Street.
West Street.
Yeah, West Street between Ballard and Hart, thank you. That's just in the preliminary stages. We'll get bids on that, and we can take from local road or major roads to local roads. We called the accountant, he actually emailed the accountant, so it's documented. We can move back and forth from major to local, so we can do that at any time. So in the spring, we can start getting bids for that, or if you do want to piggyback on the township paving project and have them come out and do that at the same time, that's an option as well, but that's a little bit down the road.
will we be dealing with that issue on West Street where every time it rains, the sand from the hill like fills up the street and fills up the driveways of the people?
Yeah, remind, who's streets, who's in charge of streets?
No, but I'm gonna do some shoulder work there this spring.
Okay.
To help that, it won't, she'll still have some, it's still gonna drain into her yard a little bit, just the way, just where her house is at.
But it's, anytime there's a heavy rain, there's just sand all over that road that just, comes down, so nature.
Oh, right on.
Well, that's Mike Green. So when you start talking to paving companies, see if they can do something on that outside corner, or I should say that bend in the road, maybe a little
Curbing somehow.
curving, yeah. Right, that's good.
It's gonna be grading that, obviously we don't own the 2 tracks that go straight up.
Yeah,
So like, only thing I can do is do some grading in the right of way that we have.
all right. Let's see, major streets and local streets and sidewalks, police, what did Craig say about that?
I'm so sorry, say that again?
The police budget, we gotta do an amendment for this year, which will also roll over for next year, right? For 2024, 25.
If we amend this year's budget, it has nothing to do with next year's budget.
Yeah, but I'm saying that corrected amount will be reflected for next year. We'll just use that number that we're moving it for? Or do you want to do something different with?
For the police fund,
Yeah,
we're gonna have to use the general fund to fund the police.
for the last month of this year. So,
I guess I don't understand. Are we talking about budget amendments? Are we moving on?
no, I'm just talking this thing right here.
Mhm.
So if our budget, was incorrect for this year, should we make the changes for next year on the police?
Yeah, we'll consider all those numbers for that. Is that what you're
Okay.
asking? Yeah.
Yep. Let's see, DDA,
Just a second.
Yep.
Back to, what is it called, local streets.
Mhm.
Ally and I talked this afternoon, the contracted services for maintenance common areas, 4470, rather than 3850 is listed.
Yeah, and we didn't vote on the line items either. We voted on the fund.
Yeah, okay, well, that's just.
Yeah.
So, it's on, page 10, halfway down, Department 500, maintenance common area. The contracted services are actually 4470, rather than 3850.
Thank you. Well, DDA, we just talked about campground standalone, sewer standalone.
I would like to possibly, when we get somebody in town to do some paving, to possibly get some paving done on the campground.
All right.
somewhere also. We'd have to wait till later on, we can't do it during prime time.
Right.
All right.
There's some spots down there that we need to fix.
So look this over. We have another meeting on this, next week, correct?
21st
Next Wednesday.
at 7 p.m.
Yeah, February 21, 7 o'clock, to go just over 2024 budget. So take this budget, take a look at it, see if there's anything that you think that needs to be changed or you have questions about. And if you see something you don't understand, I know like there's so many things that when I first got on this board, I didn't even know what things meant. You talk to Ally, she can tell you what it means. So that way when it comes to the 21st, we'll have it, be able to hit the ground running on this and then vote on it in March. So.
In that meeting, Alan was talking about, these line item parts are not what you need to really look at. It's the total fund, the ending balance and stuff. That's what we gotta look at.
You want to explain that a little bit further, that how we set it up now is that's the bottom line of each one of these
Of each of the,
departments,
yeah, of each of the funds.
funds, excuse me.
Don't use that word. Funds. So this year we did the general budget. We did 3 departments within the fund of the general fund. However, that stands alone. All the rest of the funds, we didn't break down by line item. We did not break it down by department. We just did the fund. So the amount at the end, that is our total budget for that fund, is what we will be voting on, not the individual line items.
And again, this is all a recommendation from the accountants. So they came in, Craig came in and went over everything very thoroughly. So pretty confident that we have a really good handle on this. So, but anyways, we'll circle back to that on the 21st at 7 p.m. That'll be the only thing on the agenda. We'll talk about it. And then in March's meeting, we vote on it. And then we'll have public comment before March's meeting too. We have to do public comment on this. So we'll have public comment, adjourn that meeting on the March meeting at the same time, then start the next meeting.
Yep, I put a notice in the paper already for it.
That's what we did.
Yeah, you have a public hearing first.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, public hearing last year, Wednesday, March 22nd. All we did was public comment, approve the budget. That's all we did.
Are you gonna do that at 6 o'clock and shoot it the same day of the meeting? Are you gonna do it on the same day?
Yep, we're gonna start it at 7, because people shut down their stores and have to get here, so we're gonna do it at 7.
Yeah, last year, yeah, we did it public comment was on March 22nd and our regular meeting was on the 8th.
We were a little behind, I think, last year.
Yeah. All right.
But we're on it this year.
We're on it.
Totally on it.
What time is it for the next week?
7 o'clock, February 21.
And I put all those dates in the manila folder on a piece of paper too.
No new business. Action items. 12A, approve zoning ordinance amendment of section 3.14. On January 26th, the planning commission met under the advisement of our attorney Brian Graham to add this amendment regarding windmills in the village.
Gretchen Whitmer passed a new law, which made Brian send this to us to approve. Planning commission already approved it. We have to do it dependent on what Gretchen passed.
So this is non-commercial wind turbine generator that has a full load capacity of 100 megawatts. That's a lot of power.
That is a lot of power.
So you can't put up a windmill in your backyard that goes more than 100 megawatts. Is that what it's saying?
That's what we interpreted it as at the planning commission meeting.
Yeah, it says non-commercial. Wind
Yeah.
turbine.
I'll let it blow out every fuse in your house. I mean,
It does not apply to any non-commercial, so it only applied to commercial.
Oh,
okay.
I'd like to make a
Kind of a double
motion.
negative there, but yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll support. All right, so Tyler made the motion, seconded by Patton. All in favor to amend the village ordinance, amend section 3.14 of the village ordinance, say yeah. Aye. Any nays? All right, no. Nobody else? All right, thank you all. Budget amendments.
All
All
right.
right, Ally, take it away for us.
How exciting. Working hard. All right. So on the first page here, it's going to be the recap of the rest of this packet. So this is just the thumbnail. But as we look at it, I put little descriptions under it. So if you ever forget like what we're talking about, like our budget is our educated guess. Our activity is of when I ran the report yesterday, we haven't spent any money or received any money since then. Difference is the amount over budget. The recommended amended budget is what we want the new budget to be. And then, so, yeah. So we want to break it down by flipping to page 2.
This will be the first one we're gonna have to vote on.
Yep, this is about the general fund. In the general fund, this is the only fund that we broke down by departments. And the 3 departments are clerk, auditor, and attorney fees. So for the clerk, our educated guess was about 100,000. We spent about 120. So we want to make an amendment to the budget for $135,000 to cover the rest of the bills that we received for the month of February and to pay anything that we received later that should have been due in the month of February. So if yes?
And that clerk line, line item, that includes utilities for the building, it includes copies, it includes postage. It's like all of the activities that basically happen in this office.
Mhm.
Um,
And so we, with utilities, we estimated what we thought the utilities would be, and the utilities ended up being more than we estimated.
Yeah, and we bought a printer, we bought a stamp machine, we bought a projector, different tech. We've had a lot of IT things go through.
shelves,
Shelves for the room.
1,000.
So that's why we overspent there. The auditor fees are higher this year. We got audited by the IRS, so that was some extra fees as well that we normally don't have to deal with. And then they do a lot of training with me, and I need it, and I'm learning, so it's great. So that's where most of that is. And then we overspent in our attorney fees slightly as well, so we would need to amend that.
We had a lot of, we had two individuals that kept sending letters to the village saying what we were doing was illegal. And every time they sent a letter, it cost the village $300 to rebut that letter. In the future, Brian Graham says, until they file, we are not going to engage in this back and forth law. I don't know what word I want to use.
Tirade.
Pardon me?
Tirade.
Yeah, thank you. So those are the 3 on that one.
And then there's a second chart under the main one there, and that's where you can find the total amount of money we have in that fund. So right now we're sitting at $604,000. And then you're gonna look to the very left column, and it says 2023/2024 budget info. To the right of that is the current budget. So that is what our educated guess was. And then our current activity, which is what actually happened. So if we look at the very left column that says total revenue, we planned our budget for $327,000, but we actually made $423,000. Does that make sense? Okay, very good. Then the next line under that is our expenditures. So we spent a lot less than what we thought we were going to. And yeah, we spent, that was good. Yeah, we spent like $165,000 less than we thought. Any questions on the general fund?
Do you want to bundle all these amendments into one? All right, so you want to go on, so that you covered general fund, page 3, major streets.
Yes. Going forward, this should be a little more simple. So major streets, we overspent slightly. So we need to amend the budget. So as you can see, our educated guess was about 99,000. We spent 114. So we need to amend that. And I suggest 125.
Page 4.
Local streets. So we did not account for the bridge in our budget. So this is what is accounting for that. Yeah, we overspent by quite a bit, but the bridge cost about 325,000-ish. I believe.
What was the end on that with the sidewalks and everything else? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I thought it was 325 by the time we put that new sewer drain in and the sidewalk.
Sidewalk, yeah, it was somewhere there. I don't remember. I
Yeah, it
have
was-
to look it
Yeah, it
up.
was a lot.
Excellent investment.
Yes, absolutely.
Cheaper than the new bridge.
All right, so that's, any questions on local streets? All right. Police. All right, so this one is like something clerical we have to do for our auditors. We have to change our educated guest budget of 114,959 to just 114. We only spent about 97,000. So this one is just clerical.
And this is what the auditor
Yep.
recommended us to do, so that way when they come back in April, all the books look good.
He sent me an email about it. I called him on the phone today. He walked me through it. He says we have to do this.
You have to do that for $959.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But yeah, that's the last page. Any questions here? So once again, this is for the 2023-2024 year. We're going to be talking about the 2024-2025 at the next meeting.
So this is basically the closed books.
Yeah, thank you, close the books.
This is cutting our loose ends.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the budget amendments as presented for the 23-24 fiscal year.
Oh, one.
I would like to second that.
Go ahead.
All right.
All right. Roll
All
call.
in favor of the budget amendments of 2020?
Roll call. Roll call.
Oh, yeah, roll call, let's do a roll call, thank you.
Patton,
Yes.
Ring,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yep.
Shearhart.
Yes.
Drake.
Yes.
All right.
Action item C, approve the opening of an account at Forefront Credit Union with the authority of signers as President Robert Tyler, Chair of Finance and Personnel Michelle Fox, and Clerk Treasurer Ally Hines. Since you open an account, someone has to be on that account. This is just what you have to do when you open up an account. I'd like to make a motion to approve of opening an account for Forefront Credit Union with the authority signers as President Robert Tyler, Chair of Finance Personnel Michelle Fox, and Clerk Treasurer Ally Hines.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It should be a roll call.
I'll do a roll call.
Patton,
Yes.
Ring,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yep.
Shearhart.
Yes.
Drake.
Yes. Action item D, approve Catherine Ring, common area caretaker agreement and contract for a total of $4,470.
I'll make that motion.
I was gonna compliment her. She's doing a great job. I can't,
Her husband needs a little he needs a little work, but she does great.
yeah. So he made a motion, I'll second, roll call, please.
Sorry, Patton,
Yes.
Ring.
Abstain.
Yes.
Yes.
Chapman, Fox,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yep.
Shearhart.
Yes.
Drake.
Yes. Turning the page, E, approve of Everbridge mass notification system payment for $5,090. Ellie, enlighten us, please.
So last year, you voted and I put a lot of work in and we have a mass notification system. If we want it for another year, we have to pay this bill. It was for like boil water notices and it did come in handy.
I think it was great.
Yeah.
It did go up at all, a little bit, or?
We sent out, I think, 2 or 3 texts.
Okay.
Yeah, or phone calls, messages, whatever.
It's something you hope you never use, but
Yeah.
it was nice when we had it last year.
Absolutely. Helps the people who are tourists get to know and yeah, it's very good.
I'll make the motion to approve the mass notification system.
I'll support it.
All right, roll call.
Patton,
Yes.
Ring,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yep.
Shearhart.
Yes.
Drake.
Yes. Approve employee raises for the 2024-25 fiscal year. I think they're doing a great job, every one of them. They're all on the same page. I'm getting compliments all the time. how good everything's looking, and, pardon me?
Cost of living has gone
And the
up.
cost of living has gone up. Kip, what is the DP, or I should say, the road commission, what is their raise this year?
6%.
6%. Road commission. Brian, what did Bill Drollinger tell you about the
4.5.
4.5? As you can see, it breaks down on that page. I would like to give the employee raises for the 2024-25 fiscal year 7% raise. You have it in the general fund.
I'll support.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Patton,
Oh, sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, when we figured this out, that was the rate of inflation or good cost of living raise, I guess,
Yeah.
at the 7%. So that's all I wanted to.
Well, I just got one thing, as we find out, we have, like Rob said, we have great employees, they're trained. We don't want to lose them. It's hard to find employees
Yes.
that are as qualified as ours.
okay, roll call. Patton,
Yes.
Ring,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yep.
Shearhart,
Yes.
Drake.
Yes.
Approved council base pay increase. The council has not had a raise in how many years, Brian?
I think it's been about 6 years.
So, right now, Central Lake Township, they get $175 per meeting. So, and we're sitting well below that right now. Ryan, how did you come up with these numbers? Can you kind of enlighten us?
I just came up, with something that that wouldn't break the bank. Rob talked to me last week about giving the president pro tem a raise, and I said, I think the president should get a raise and the council should get, obviously Michelle and Rob put the most time in. So I came up with $300 for Rob, $300 for Michelle, and $100 per year for the rest of the council. If anybody has any questions, I'd be glad to discuss it. It's just a small raise, it's been 6 years. It's not a lot, but I know if Rob charged us by the hour, he would, we couldn't afford it.
The township is also voting to increase their wages this year.
They do every year.
Oh, did you? Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, absolutely.
Just so Rob's would go up, add to the,
Rob would go up from his current, the council president right now is currently 2,500, it would go up to 2,800.
okay,
President pro tem, 1,300 a year, that job is currently 1,000 per year. Council members are at 700 per year, $100 increase. If anybody thinks that it should be less or more, if not, I'll make that motion to approve the council base pay increases.
All right, roll call, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Ring,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yep.
Shearhart,
Yes.
Drake.
yes.
Very good.
Public comment. All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
Yes, you can.
All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Thanks for listening.
Oh,
Thanks.
No.